Bitcoin is currently showing a very great example of high volume indecisiveness. And this is a great sign as well to look at, potentially confirming a top in the short term price real soon. And the reason I say that is I'm gonna give you guys all the reasons right now, and a few things as well I want to cover again that I've been saying in the last couple of videos. But it's kind of funny. I've been looking at some Bitcoin articles, and that a lot of these big name um, illustrators or article writers or whatever they're called, journalists, are running out of creativeness because you always end up seeing crazy headlines, and then after a lot of the new news isn't new anymore, you start seeing things like make history. They start putting these big names in their articles, and they start throwing just very like general term words in there, like notches record weekly close, and they're just trying to continue to evolve the hype that is already showing to in the first phases of it like fading away. But really, um let's talk about Bitcoin's price action and what we can be looking forward to realistically, right? Because we all know that all-time high is very near. And in the last like two videos, I kept saying, um, we're still holding a little bit of a higher low structure. We haven't shown any bearish momentum yet. And with this said, it's very important to still try to capture a bit more upside. Now, I don't have any weekend positions, as you guys know I like to trade ETFs. I don't really trade spot. It's very rare when I do. So I wasn't involved in this trade, to be clear with you guys, but I said it in case anybody is trading spot. I kept saying it's, in my opinion, using some tight stop losses in case we do start descending lower and having these micro supports broken, and we can finally start heading into this red area. It's very important to just keep those micro support SLs opened and try to capture any more potential upside. And then when Bitcoin was trading at this point, when it was back here and it had like this dip, confirming a little bit of like a triangle pattern on the support end of it, and it went up to resistance, and it came back down. If you guys remember, I gave you guys this fib extension area, and I said, it's until we have a bearish confirmation, I wouldn't be surprised if we just have one more stretch higher, try to see if we can retest this previous swing high. And that's exactly what happened. We came up perfectly, or just about perfectly, topping out this fib extension area, and then we're seeing a big, just dump. And there's a few important just elements within this, right? Is that we all know that the amount of large volume that has been in Bitcoin for a while now, for like a month, where it just kept rallying up a lot more, we're going to start seeing a lot of these early buyers begin to sell their position, because now they know that, hey, the price is, overextended in the short term, and there's going to be a lot of people doing some last minute buying. And if they want to get out of the position, they need that liquidity. So, I mean, I'm not going to bring it up, but if you guys look at the, exchange liquidation heat maps for Bitcoin, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to see on multi time frames, you're going to see a lot of the liquidity starting to brighten in these levels that we're at right now. And of course, that's the amount of just the amount of over leveraged positions, last minute over leveraged positions, I should say. And, these earlier buyers are starting to use that as an advantage to start selling. And that's where the majority of the volume is. And that is my opinion on why we're starting to see this high volume indecisiveness as we begin this new trading week. But regardless of that, none of that really matters. It's what's going to happen now, or what's most probable to happen going forward. And really, it's as simple as looking at, you know, um, an example of, I keep using this example so much in previous videos, but I'm still gonna say, because I there's probably some new people watching. But during a time of just extreme optimism, we eventually see quite a bit of time of, consolidation, just, to factor in the previous move higher. And we need to start showing signs of bullish confirmations, breaking previous resistances, and starting to make a higher low so we can keep going higher. Now, this is very similar to what we're seeing, where we have an incredible length of short term optimism in the price. And now we saw the consolidation, sideways movement to factor in that aggressive move up. And now we're in that phase where we can start to look at the potential first higher low, or the first significant higher low. So this move higher, and I think it looks better if I use this chart. It has less stuff. There's nothing drawn in here, so it's a lot easier. But we start seeing Bitcoin come up from the low. It starts coming up and it starts breaking all of these previous resistances. Within breaking all of these previous resistances, we need to remember that the price eventually then has to balance itself out. And that's a lot of these earlier buyers selling out, taking their profit because they know the price is overextended. And then as it comes down to a proper retracement, and proper retracements are factored in by either a fib retracement, imbalance, or previous consolidation areas that can act as a magnet and potential support, right? So if we consider, just as an example here, we had the first higher high breaking previous resistances. Eventually it tops out and it comes down, has a proper retracement. Within this area, we had decent consolidation right here. Not as good as the one we're seeing now currently, that we have in 2025. But right here we had enough of a spread where the price overlaps really, really well with, in the 0.5 area, especially between the 0.618 in the discounted area and the 0.5 for the median. And then the price comes down into this area, finds support, and it goes much, much higher. But when it finds support, it creates that significant higher low that we really, really want to see right now. And to just make things clear on how this correlates currently, is that we have this, uptrend. We have really, really easy to look at and a lot better setup when it comes to a support consolidation right here. So right here, we have a lot of price consolidation. This can act as a potential magnet and support. But more importantly, this is just above imbalance areas right here. So we have very, very important imbalance areas, bringing it all the way down to 85K. So with this being, a very important consolidation area right here with imbalances, and then we have another one right here, is very important to understand that 85K is a very, very strong floor. But it doesn't mean we have to wait for the price to come down to 85K to buy. That's why we have this extension area, or this retracement area, which I'm going to modify for the recent rally we had. So what this does is that it overlaps all of this important indicators and just structure, things that back up the structure that we're looking for. So we have really, really good imbalance areas, strong consolidation areas, all overlapping with our retracement. Now, ideally, we would like to see the price come down into this area. But what's the sign that we're going to start coming down into this area? Well, right now, what we're seeing is that high volume, undecisive, just crazy fluctuations as we start the new trading week. So what this tells us is that, hey, we were able to finally reach this next little fib extension area as a strong area for any spot traders to begin to sell. As you can see, it was a perfect target hit that came down. It hit it perfectly. Great time to sell. Couldn't hold above the yellow resistance line, and it starts to come down lower. Now, instead of the price trying to find support within this imbalance area and with a micro retracement area, instead it comes down a lot more, and as it comes lower, breaks this swing low, goes under the 120 moving average, and begins to trade within the discounted portion of this fluctuation area, consolidation area, I should say. We still don't see the RSI bottoming out. There is a lot of bearish pressure building up in the background for Bitcoin, which again, it's the fact that a lot of these last minute buyers are not really outweighing the amount of earlier buyers that now are in insane profit, and they're starting to sell, and this is going to be factored into the prices. You're going to start seeing that fear come into play, in my opinion, because what I'm looking at now is that I have no positions right now. It's Sunday night. I have no positions. I'm waiting to see what the price does as we enter the first U.S. trading days of this week. Because what I want to do is that I want to be patient with this right now. I don't want to short just yet because we still have to break this, these two swing lows right here to indicate bearish momentum. The moment we do break into this blue area, which will be the retracement area for the last move up from right here, we're going to start seeing a lot of, bearish momentum building up. So this is going to present an area where we can look at potentially accumulating, some really strong, or not high quantity, but really strong short-term trades where we can easily buy within the discounted portion and sell within the premium portion and keep locking in profits with a very, very easy 1%, or even, 1 to 1.5% spreads in profit until we have a bearish, a second bearish momentum confirmed below 87.8K, which will then give us an opportunity to come down into this area and accumulate very, very aggressively. So just like in 2024, this red area will be the area we really want to look at for the price to have a proper retracement. Just like for all the reasons I showed, but have a proper retracement somewhere between ideally 85 to 90K before it creates a higher low, a significant higher low, and then it starts to come up, break all-time high, which is the blue line, and then start trading within, well over 110K, all the way up, 130K, 140K, even 150K. This is the areas that we're looking at. But in order to realistically go up there, we need to have the bullish volume reset itself and balance itself out. And that's going to happen best if the price comes down into this area. So if we are overextending in the short term, and we are starting to see weakness in bullish momentum, where this is very, very weak. This is showing that the current structure and the overextended short-term prices are very fragile. So what I'm waiting on is for the price to, we can even potentially take small not shorts, but long positions at the bottom and try to retest, the RSI going up to the upside, and then just basically trading the RSI. But that's just forcing a trade. We don't really want to do that. We really want to wait, in my opinion, for strong support, short-term support for consolidation, because if the price comes down into here, we can have a really, really good opportunity to trade the structure. And the structure would be, having the price do something like this. And the reason it will do something like this and before it goes much, much higher is because within the price coming down to here, it's gonna create imbalance areas. It's already creating one right here, but it's gonna create plenty of imbalance areas where we can look at potential resistances. So if it comes down and then we have another fib retracement from the top here all the way to the bottom, it will most likely overlap with some imbalance, and we'll have that confirmed soon enough. We can use that as a resistance to buy low, sell high, and then wait to buy much lower again before the price goes up and makes a significant all-time high. So that's really what I'm waiting for. This is the opportunity that we don't want to miss. We really don't want to, throw away capital by forcing trades. Instead, conserve capital, know how to execute your position sizing correctly, know when to get out, not be greedy. Let your indicators tell you what to do. Let the price structures tell you what to do. And then we'll have really, really good signs of a strong buying opportunity, and then just make an insane amount of profit. Just trading the structures itself, not trading news, and not trading trading emotions. And that's something that everyone needs to work on. It's just making sure that you're properly set to make decisions based off of the structures and your indicators, instead of you trying to force a trade. So yeah, hopefully this made sense, guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.